what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Joker, Folie, or Deux. Now this is a sequel to 2019 The Joker, which was directed by Todd Phillips and also starred Joaquin Phoenix in the role of Arthur Fleck, or you could say the Joker. Now this particular film takes place like 2 years after the events of the 2019 Joker film. Now at this point Arthur is inside like Arkham Asylum, and you know, one of the things I thought was kind of cool about the film is that it does still bring like previous characters from like the first Joker film into this one. Plus like it still kind of ties up some of the events and some of like the story arcs of the Joker. Now I know a lot of people are just like hating on this film. Like, there's like a lot of rants. I know like on Rotten Tomatoes it's like doing very bad, even flopped at the box office. I'm just not getting the chance to see it to myself. But I must admit, I thought it was actually better than what I'm hearing. I actually enjoyed the film. You know. Now you also have Lady Gaga in the film, and she plays like her own version, I guess you could say, of Harley Quinn, but the character is known as Harleen Lee Quinzel. So that's the particular person that she plays, and Arthur meets her while in Arkham Asylum. Because she apparently, I don't want to get into her role too much because it'll kind of spoil the film. She apparently checked herself into there because she burned down, like I think her parents' house or something like that, like in her past. And that's why she checked herself into like Arkham Asylum as she got older. But yeah, as the film does go on, the bulk of the film itself, and like the plot of the film itself, is that Arthur is like on trial for the events that happened like 2 years ago in 2019's Joker. Where in that film, 2019's Joker, which like I said was like 2 years prior to this film, if you're going by the timeline of the film. So he's on trial, or waiting to see what the jury is going to decide like about his fate and so on. So as the film goes on, you can see how like the guards inside Arkham are like pushing him around, beating him on, all this stuff like that. And he's the most popular inmate in Arkham Asylum too as well. Now another thing that I was kind of fearing about the movie myself, because I'm not a fan of musicals, and I knew that this was going to be like a musical type film. But like some of the musical scenes in the film, and there are like a lot of them when they break out, it's like a musical or like a singer. It's odd and weird. I must admit, some of the songs I thought were pretty decent. They turned out to be pretty cool to me. And another thing I thought was still pretty cool about the film too as well, like the cinematography of the film itself. I like how it looks like, especially when there's moments where it's like raining, or some of the scenes like within Arkham. Just basically like some of the scenes just really looked good. Like the cinematography I thought was done pretty good on this particular film. And one of the things I thought was kind of odd and kind of interesting and cool too is when the film does begin, there's like this like animated intro, intro, which shows like the Joker or whatever, like walking all around and messing around and so on. It's like animated. It's like the whole film is like animated. So I thought stuff like that was kind of awesome. Now you also have like other characters in the film that stand out, and some of them do return from like the previous like Joker film, but I don't want to touch on them because they're kind of spoiled, you know. But I thought that was kind of cool that some of those same characters from the first Joker film did show up in this particular film. But you do have like one standout actor in the film, played by Brendan Gleeson, and he's known as Jackie Sullivan. Now he's like an abusive guard who's at the Arkham State Hospital. Like he's like a very abusive guard. And he like is constantly like pushing Arthur around and telling him what to do and all that kind of stuff like that. So he kind of stood out in the film. And you also have, like I said, there are actually like Batman legacy type characters in the film. And I don't want to really go into all that too much because I don't want to spoil who shows up. But I could mention one of them, like Harvey Dent is in the film. Like, and he's really in the film a lot too. And he's played by Harry Lawty. So he's like a district attorney who tries to put Arthur like behind bars for what he did. Now that's one of the things I thought was kind of cool about the film too itself. Apparently they don't know, like I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen like 2019's Joker, like some of the stuff that happened in that film. I didn't want to spoil it, but it turns out they missed one of the victims that Arthur had killed. He actually had killed somebody else, and we all know who it was, you know, especially if you've seen the first film. But they don't really know about this, but as the film goes on, you know, eventually he tells them who he was that he had killed or something. But they didn't know that he had killed this particular person, and I didn't know that. I was like, whoa, I thought that was kind of interesting. But other than that though, there are like some like funny moments in the film too, but you could still tell that it wasn't really meant to be funny. It's supposed to be taken seriously. It can be just so odd and like that, just weird and extreme that it made me laugh, you know. But overall, like I say, I like how they had like some of the returning characters from like the first film in this film. Some of the plot arcs from the film were kind of tied up in this particular film. And like I said, I really did enjoy it. I thought it had like a nice pace to it, and Lady Gaga Lee Quinzel, she kind of stood out in the film too as well. And they do have like a lot of chemistry moments in the film. Cause I was hearing that they didn't have like no chemistry or whatever. You didn't really see them together in the film. In my opinion, you did get to see her with Arthur a lot throughout the film and so on. And you know they had like a lot of musical moments, plus a lot of moments where it was just her singing. Like I like this one point where she set Arkham afire and everybody was like all the inmates were trying to to escape. I thought that was kind of funny because they was singing all around that as it was like burning up. So I thought a moment like that was kind of like, you know, funny too. But I must admit, I thought the ending of the film was kind of surprising and shocking too. I won't go into all that. The stuff I even thought it was kind of sad to a certain extent. Like they, you know, that all this build up to this real, and this is what happened. And, you know, I thought it was kind of sad too. But I'm not gonna spoil what happened. But overall, I must admit, I enjoyed it. It was better than I must admit, it was better than I thought it was going to be because I'm not a fan of musicals, you know. So I really was surprised by that. But from all the reviews and it bombed at the box office and all that kind of stuff, I just thought that I probably feel the same way, you know. But overall, in the end, Joker, Folie, Deux, of course, it wasn't as good as the first one, you know. But I thought like Joaquin Phoenix was pretty good in his role again as well. Lady Gaga, I thought she did pretty good in her role. Brendan Gleeson, I thought was kind of awesome in his role as the abusive like guard at Arkham. There's like other people I want to touch on too, but like I said, I just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil it because a lot of them did return from the first film. Even though you don't see them in the trailers, these people are in the this film that were in the original film. But overall, I like the flashback moments to the original film. Like you can see like how the stuff that happened. If you haven't seen like the flashback moments, I thought it was pretty cool too from the first film. But in I still think it could be like a very like twisted and weird film, and I think it's just like a study of a person who's just really like disturbed, like Arthur himself, he's just like really like disturbed and like sick, you know, and so on. So I thought that was kind of like interesting, you know, to me. But overall, in the end, I'm gonna give it a B minus. Like I say, and I do believe this is better than a lot of people are saying it was, you know. So I'm giving Joker, Folie, Deux, I'm giving this a B minus, and this is another film. This was a film where the first Joker film, I was against them making a sequel to. I wish they would have just left it alone. I didn't want like a sequel to. But surprisingly, the sequel turned to be pretty decent to me. So I'm giving this a B minus. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.